teacher in Allentown, Pennsylvania, so I've come a long way. And we have an interesting lesson for you guys today. We're going to be doing quite a few different things. And I'm not going to do all of it. There's going to be a bunch of different teachers talking to you, and we're from all around the different country, all around the country, teaching in different schools. But we're all doing the same thing. So what I'd first like to do is, we're going to do a couple of bell word problems. I put the first one up here. I'd like you on your whiteboards, using your markers, to write this verbal expression using algebraic symbols and letters and operations and fun things like that. And we'll just kind of go through and talk about who has what and compare and contrast and kind of get a consensus on this. So to start with this, we're going to do 5 less than 3 times a number. See what you can do. 5 less than 3 times a number. I'll give you about 20 seconds for this. 20 seconds. Not a lot of time, but 20 seconds. 5 less than 3 times a number. All right, I see some good things. If you guys could hold them up so I can see what's going on, and we'll put some of these up on the board, so then we can kind of talk about what we have. All right, I see this. We got 5 minus 3n. I like that one. I see 5 is less than 3n. All right, we got that one. Else we got anything? Anyone has anything different than this? All right, this gentleman has negative 5, and is that a plus? 3x. I like the changing up of the letters. That's good stuff. I see this one. We have 5 less than 3 times n, I think. All right, so we have, we have 16, 17 people here. Today we have quite a few different options, different varieties of what this verbal expression is. And part of algebra is coming to a consensus and knowing, all right, what does this phrase actually mean? So let's take some votes. Who, looking at what you have and kind of thinking about what all of our options are, who likes option number 1 with what we have? Who likes option number 1? There's no right or wrong answer here. Just, you like it? Okay, raise your hand. So we got 4 votes for this. Who likes option number 2? We got 1, 2. Some more. Option number 2 is kind of in the lead right now. How about option number 3? Who likes option number 3? What was your option? You don't even like it anymore? You changed your mind from option number 3? All right. We'll talk about this. And then option 4. All right. Well, what does option 4 kind of look like? Yeah, kind of looks like option 3. What's different about this one? All right. So now that we're kind of going through algebra, when we're multiplying things, we normally don't write this x anymore because it kind of looks like we have another letter. So if we're going to write it this way with the multiplying, I think that's what you're implying, sir, right? The times. We probably want to write it with, right next to the letter. So that's something to kind of think about. What symbols are we going to use? So I'm going to erase that one, not because I don't like it. Maybe I like the other ones a little bit more. So now let's kind of go back and look at these 3 again. Who can explain to me why, and this can be your option or not, why you like number 1? Why do you like number 1, sir?
Because it says less than, and I think we're less than everything else.
All right. So you're saying less than, and you're using that option for subtraction, right? All right, I like that. All right. Who would like to explain number 2? Number 2. Someone different. You got the other first one. Who would like to explain why? Why not?
5 is less than 3 or 3 times n.
Okay. So you're saying, so what symbol is this again? Yeah, it's the less than symbol. So say it one more time. 5
would be less than or 3 times n.
Okay. So I like what you're saying, but I don't see all of what you're saying up here.
Oh, 5 less than.
So no, you're doing the right thing. So one more time. Say it one more time. 5.
Less
That's not what you said the first time. I know it's the tricky thing about algebra here. I know we've been doing this all year. Oh, it's algebra stuff, never goes away. It's all about how you say it. So what you said the first time, which was spot on, exactly right, you said 5 is less than 3 times a number. That one word, 2 letters, changes the whole thing. If what you said is that exactly. But was that what I wrote? No. So close, yet so far away. And that's it's so frustrating. It's algebra stuff. So a lot of people had this option. It was a really great option, but one word was all it took. So we got to kind of watch it. That one word wasn't there. Without that word being here, option number 2 off the table. Sorry, option number 2. Not trying to crush hopes and dreams. I like what you guys are doing. This is good so far. All right. What about option number 3? So we're kind of I've left these 2 up here, and they're similar, but not quite the same. What's option 3 say? Anyone explain option 3? All right. Did option 1? Let's try this again. Option 3. What does that one say?
Talking about the -5 plus 3. That one right?
All right. So it's -5 and then plus.
It says plus. It says less than. And with the plus sign, all you do is add it.
All right. So here's one of these things that shows up a lot in algebra. It's all about what these words mean and how they're written. So we have this less than. And I know I'm not your normal teacher. I don't teach things the same way, probably. But when I go through this, I always focus on what that less than means. So option 3 has changed that to now being addition. But they changed that 5 to being, as this gentleman said, a negative. Exactly, a negative. And it's kind of funny because this is actually, that's actually the right option. That is spot on correct. And I think it's kind of funny when we went through the whole voting process, the guy that had it right said, no, never mind. I didn't believe myself. But how could we write this and use that subtraction? How could we maybe move this around a little bit? Any options, any ideas? Say it one more time. No. So if we did minus 3x here, would that be the same thing as these? Are these the same expression? No, not quite. Not quite. So I mean, the letter doesn't really matter. So x or n, that's not the point. That's not quite the same. How can we make this expression have that minus in the middle? What do you think?
3x at the front and minus 5.
So 3x at the front and then minus 5. What did you do? What's flipped it? What's the mathy way to say that? You flipped it, yes, I agree, totally right. But what did you do math? Oh wait. Turn it around. All right, still not quite mathy. What property maybe did we use? What property maybe we used? Anyone remember any of those properties from way back in the day, early in the year? Moving things around, flipping things, I kind of like rotating, not quite. With the C, takers, great soul. Okay, not quite. So we use the commutative property, moving things around, flipping the order of them. So one thing that we have to look for is how can we express something using the algebra. So a couple things I wanted you guys to focus on was maybe how do we write it. When I have that times a number, maybe the best thing is to write it just right next to a letter. And don't put that extra letter in the middle. Don't put 3 times x because that looks like I have 2 x's. So look for that. And normally, that times, that number that's being multiplied, goes in front. What do we call that number in front of that letter? Anyone know? What do we call it? That number in front of that letter. It's got a name. Also starts with a C. Choosing things that start with a C today. Any takers? All right. Well, we're looking for those coefficients. Coefficients. All right, so the whole idea was we wanted to kind of go back and kind of connect to some of these things that we talked about. We're going to be focusing on polynomials. So these, this expression is an example of a polynomial.